My name is Terry Parkman. I'm the lead student pastor at Evangel Assembly of God in Bismarck, North Dakota. My duties are to facilitate and create ministries for teenage students, 6th grade through 12th grade. And on a weekly basis, we have discipleship groups, we have our Wednesday night events, and we also have missions trips, outreach events, and other things like that.
So change.
It's the average part is that there is no average, I guess, if I could say that. And that's what I love about this job. It's not your typical 9 to 5. As a pastor, you are, in essence, like the word means, a shepherd. So you're there to guide people. You're on call. You know, people will text you late at night, unless you shut your phone off. People will call you in the middle of the day, just needing different things. The thing that is normal is what you have to set up for yourself. As a pastor, you kind of create your own schedule unless your boss, which is the lead pastor, gives you a certain schedule. My lead pastor is pretty flexible. He allows us to create our own schedule. And ministry is something that you can step into and do as little as possible and still keep your job, or as much as possible and burn yourself out. I think the trick is finding the balance in that.
Hours you work?
Absolutely. I work on average about 60 to 70 hours a week. That doesn't mean in-office hours. My office is kind of everywhere. I have this office here for meetings and for getting work done, but I meet with people at Starbucks. I will travel. I will preach. It just kind of depends on the week and the season that we're in that dictates the hours of ministry. The very least amount that I'll do in a week is 50, but it's not as stressful. 60 to 70 is not like the same thing. It's not like an assembly plant, and nothing's wrong with that, but it's various. There's always something new that you're working with.
And you mentioned
I do a lot of travel as a student pastor. That's a great thing as a student ministries pastor is we also have events like fine arts events where students compete with music and drama and art, and then they go on a national level. We have camps. We have youth conventions. Outside of that, I travel and I speak to different places, to different groups, to different ministries. So I kind of travel and I'm a speaker in that capacity. And then conferences on top of that. So there is a lot of travel. I know pastors who travel next to none. And I know some pastors that all they do is they travel. So I had to understand that I needed ministry experience. First of all, especially in high school, I believe some people believe they get into their career when they get their diploma, and I believe that you can start your career early on. I believe you can start thinking in a direction of whatever career you feel that you're called to or led to. And so I started working very close with my youth pastor and other pastors, helping out in ministries, being kind of at ground level with all that stuff. And it was a great opportunity. Outside of that, I started to look at different colleges. And I know in the Assemblies of God it's different. It's basically seminary that all ministers have to go to become ministers. But in the Assemblies of God, they have Bible college, and then your post-grad work is seminary to where you get your master's and your doctorate. So I started to look for different Bible colleges then. Definitely believe in what you're doing. You know what I mean? You can't be a pastor without being a Christian, and having a consistent walk with God. You know, you can't be nominal. You have to have a consistent walk with God, and you have to understand and believe that it is the deciding factor for change in this world, and that you want to be used as a tip of that spear, so to speak, to bring that change. And I don't mean like radical, revolutionary culture change, but culture change at a personal level. The desire to work with people, to not just like people, but love people. People. I love connecting with people, especially students. I believe without a shadow of a doubt, 6th through 12th grade is where cultures are created. You hear people who are in their 40s and 50s say, "Oh, I remember when I was in high school." Why do they say that? Because the culture of their life was created there. And if I could be at that level of creating the culture of people's lives, that is so profound. That's highly fulfilling to me. People. It's a double-edged sword. It's people because they are people. Some of the challenging parts are when people have negative behavior and they want that enabled by your attention. And the challenging part is not giving them that negative attention necessary for that negative behavior to continue. Sometimes people don't always like you, won't always agree with you, but you don't enter the ministry to win a popularity contest. You enter the ministry to change things, you know. So people can also be the most challenging part of it as well. The most crucial thing is to be open and to be teachable to whatever your next steps are. You know, as you know you're called and that's your next step, to not go it alone. There's no lone rangers in this life or in this ministry, and no matter how much they're glorified, people need people to help them along the way. So to find somebody, to get under somebody, to talk to somebody and let them mentor you through those next steps, because that could greatly accelerate somebody getting into this career field, is their ability to be teachable to someone else.